Hi everybody, this is Paula and I'm going to walk you through entering an SLO or Student Learning Outcomes Assessment into Improve. Let's see, the things we're going to talk about specifically. First, I want to dispel the notion that doing an SLO assessment is this huge, major, time-consuming, crazy deal because it is absolutely not. I also want to show you some different ways that you might assess an SLO, just a real quick overview, and give you some ideas for the kinds of language and the kinds of stuff that is typically used in a student learning outcomes assessment. Quick warning before we start. Once we go into Improve, this is not auto-save territory. I've gotten super spoiled by Outlook and Google Docs. I'm used to things just automatically being saved. That is not so in Improve. So I'm going to show you the yellow save button in a second. It's your dearest friend. Make sure you hit it often, okay? So let's see, the first thing that we want to do is go to the Insider. Here we are on the beautiful Insider, and we're going to go to Planning, and we're going to go to Office of Institutional Research, and we're going to go to Student Learning Outcomes Assessment over here on the left. And we're going to spend all of our time right here in this first menu item, Improve Track-Dat SLO. We see a link to Improve for full-time faculty. We see a student learning assessments example. All these in purple are ones I visit on the reg. And we will see instructions for submitting a course SLO assessment. Okay? So first, the hardest part of this whole thing is figuring out what class I want to assess, what SLO I want to assess, and how I want to assess it. That's the biggest hurdle, and one that we can talk ourselves, we can make ourselves a little bananas doing that. Don't do that. What I recommend you do is start here by going to the SLO examples. You'll find 4 wonderful examples of student learning outcomes assessment. Here's one from history. Here's one from stats, here's one from comm, and here's one from fitness. The bold stuff are discussion prompts. It's only the non-bold stuff that is original material. Perhaps you notice a theme here. We're talking, what, a third of a page, a half a page of original content? These things are not that huge of a deal. We also get some ideas in terms of methods of assessment. This person, they took an essay, they put essay questions on a midterm. That's what history did. What stats did is they took a look at a few questions that specifically address mean, median, mode, and they determined how many students got those questions correct. In comm, students had to do an outline, and so the instructor used their outlines and the rubrics that they used to grade their outlines in order to assess the SLO. And in fitness, students were required to, calculate a personalized target heart rate zone, how many students were able to stay in that zone. So those are some ideas, and you'll also find some great comments over here off to the side from previous SLO coordinators and SLO committee members that give you more insight into what's being done well and how this particular example is helpful. So please start here. Plus, it gives you an idea, kind of the logic and flow of how student learning outcomes assessments are done, and gives you some ideas for language choice as well. So wonderful place to start, okay? Take a look at those examples. They're very helpful. Now we're going to go into, well, actually, before we go into Track-Dat Improve, I'm going to pull up these instructions for submitting a course SLO assessment. In fact, these are so helpful. Molly Senecal put them together, and they're fabulous. They're so helpful that if you don't like this whole video thing, stop it now and just read through the form, because these instructions are super, super helpful. Caveat, this doesn't work. This link, for whatever reason, it looks like a link. It's really not a link, but that's okay because we have other options. The link to get into Improve is right here. So we go into Improve. You're probably going to get taken to the Los Rios single sign-on thing first. If you see Molly Senecal in the near future, give her an elbow tap, because she's the one who got Improve linked to our single sign-on, so we don't have a whole separate login and all that garbage. And every time I see that, I think wonderful thoughts about Molly. So you're going to go to the single sign-on page, log in with your usual Los Rios credentials, and it's going to take you into Improve. Most of the time, as a department chair, it takes me here. to my ADP page for reasons I don't totally know. I think because that's usually the last thing that I was working on. But I know from my handy dandy instructions here that I want to use the drop down unit menu to select the course SLO page. Drop down unit menu to do the course SLO page for communication and media studies. Now I'm thinking that the next thing I'm going to have to do is select the class that I wish to assess. That makes sense. What does step 3 say? That is exactly what I want to do. I want to select the course that I want to assess. So I'm going to select public speaking. That's what I'm going to do an assessment in. And it takes me here. Now, warning, you get a little cocky thinking, no, I bet next I'm going to click the SLO I want to assess. No, we don't. About the time, yeah, we think we got this figured out, they throw a little thing in here. Okay, after we select the course, step 4, select the results option way over here, okay? Didn't see that coming. So I press results. Where we want to be is this spot right here where we see each one of the SLOs for the class and we see the little numbers in front of it. Now what I'm going to be doing is an assessment for SLO number 6. Explain and demonstrate the ethical responsibilities between speaker and audience within the communication transaction. For some reason it's already selected this little box for me. It opened it automatically, but whatever SLO you wish to assess in your class, click that little guy next to it. I think that's what it says the next step is here. Yep, we click that little arrow. Then it says, step 6, select the green circle with the plus sign. So I'm adding an SLO, and this is nice. It shows me the last SLO that was done. I just did an SLO for this class for spring 21. I'm going to do the same assessment. I did a similar thing for fall 21. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one in right now for the purpose of this example. So I'm going to click that little green plus that says add result. And that takes me to the thing where I put the stuff in. And this is where things get real. But again, not terribly hard. Okay, what I did for my class is I'm very fortunate. I have my Chapter 2 quiz deals solely with this student learning outcome. It looks at the ethical responsibilities between speaker and audience. Every single one of the quiz questions deals with that outcome. So all I'm going to do is I am going to go back to fall 20 and I'm going to look at how my students did on the Chapter 2 quiz. I only taught one section of the class last fall, and I had 24 students in that class. 2 didn't take the quiz. The other 22 all did pretty well on the quiz. So the result is I'm going to say 22 of 24 students taking a quiz relating solely to the ethical responsibilities between speaker and audience scored 70% or higher on that quiz. The reporting period, we get a big old long drop down menu here. This was fall, oh, no, I don't want fall 21. I want fall 20, so I want that guy right there. And the conclusion is that most of the class met the criteria. The method of assessment, I reviewed quiz grades from our Chapter 2 quiz. And I'm going to say that, again, 22 of 24 students earned higher than 70%. And that means that in the fall, 92% of the class met the SLO. The criteria for having met the SLO, I get to decide what that is. Isn't that cool? And I decided that 70% or higher equals met the SLO. Instructor's name, my email address, that class was housed at FLC. The modality was online, as everything is these days. The number of sections assessed was 1. The number of students assessed was 24. The percentage of students who met the SLO was 92%. Areas of outstanding student performance. As a class, the students scored very highly on the quiz. 92% was the average. I was pretty dang impressed with my little dumplings. Areas in need of improvement. Anything with a star by it, you have to put something in the box. So I'm going to put not applicable. Thank you very much. Oh, wait, just so you know, they don't want any special characters there. They just want a number. I always try to put the percentage symbol on there, and it always says, no, we don't want that. Oh, right. Now here it says SLO identified resource needs. Let's say, first of all, a lot of instructors think, oh, if my students haven't met the SLO, that means I'm a bad teacher. No, it doesn't mean that at all right? What it does mean, though, is that that particular outcome might need some attention. Maybe we got to change up what we're doing or how we're doing it. Maybe our students need tutors. Maybe we don't have adequate supplies. We did a lot of work on the delivery portion of our student speeches and came to the realization that our students need to practice more. And we can tell them to practice. Yeah, that's effective. It needs to be guided, structured practice using their phones to record their speeches so they can send us a sample of them practicing their speech before they give their speech. Then we know they did it. Well, a lot of our students don't have that technology. That's how we got our CommLab. So that not having an SLO met can be an absolute windfall for your department in terms of resource allocation. In this case, though, students are doing fine here, so I'm going to put none. If I had a resource need, I would explain it. Students need to be able to practice their speeches. We need a quiet CommLab with a recording device in it so that they can do that. But I don't have one for this particular one. Is this assessment complete? Why, yes, it is. Don't forget. Save. And you get the little green result, save successfully. If you forgot something, if you left something blank, or you put a symbol in where they don't like symbols, it'll give you a red thing that annoys me. But this one was successfully done. And that, my friends, is all there is to inputting an SLO into Improve. If you have any questions or need any help, you saw my email address up there. It's right here. Feel free to email me anytime. You can also reach out to Debbie Worth. Either one of us are happy to help you to conduct a workshop for you or your department and help you folks get some SLOs entered into Improve. Thanks for viewing and have a fabulous day.